And with that, I'd like to share my journey with you a little bit, and then we have to take some kind of stances, take positions. And I think first position we have to take is the position of optimism, of confidence. I think the most important thing is the two important things in films is one is your rootedness. I mean, if you're a filmmaker, if you're not rooted, then there's something wrong with what you're trying to do.
Absolutely.
So the rootedness is the first essential quality or a prerequisite for a filmmaker. Because if you're rooted, you feel the pain. You feel the pain of being attached. You feel the pain of being distempered. You feel what this world should have been, what it is not. So rootedness triggers off dreams, you know what I mean? या इतनी ना तब्दील हुई होती ये दुनिया या मैंने इसे ख्वाब में देखा नहीं होता. So it's very important to dream, and you can only dream when you are rooted. And the second thing is, while you're rooted, you're global.
Yes.
You must realize that only those fragrances spread across the world that come from deep roots. And fortunately, I come from Awadh, which is like a center for language, culture, poetry, music, a lot of arts. But it's also a center of a lot of anguish. It was a center for 1857. It was a center where the composite culture was born. It's the center where the composite culture was threatened. So that was a very, very important positioning I could have, and I could feel the pain of Awadh after Wajid Ali Shah. I think Wajid Ali Shah is a very, very important person as far as Awadh is concerned. And to that extent, even 1857 is a very important watershed period in our history. Because, I mean, today when you look at films, you have to look at basically you have to look at democracy. And when you look at democracy, you look at mansikta, you look at minds, how people think, feel, understand, and go to vote. So if people are not evolved, then what do they vote for? So the democracy is today becoming extremely threatened because of a lot of challenges of today's world and a lot of misconceptions that have entered. Like, for instance, you take 1857. That was a time when the Hindus and Muslims united in fight, and they fought oppression, they fought colonialism. But when the 1857 was crushed, the entire history of 1857 was wiped off. That history is now being revived, but it was not over 100 years that history was wiped off. And after that, what happens is that you end up with partition. So you're positioning two communities, one not believing the other because you've delivered the country into a partition country, and the other community feels that they were part of the freedom struggle, So it's very, very important, I think, that we position ourselves first in 1857. I mean, you take America. America has, whatever you may say about America, but America has a method in its madness. They have a policy. They have a bigger vision. They create icons, they create ideologies, they create styles, they create philosophies, and they create isms, you know what I mean? I mean, through their films, they have made sure that the Holocaust is never repeated. I think the Holocaust, they must have made 100, 200, 300 odd films on Holocaust, but never one film looks like a propaganda film. They are so human, they are so emotional, and at the end of it, you feel that this is something that should never happen and will never happen. So I think we should also look at 1857 as something that should have never happened and will never happen. So we should have also made at least 50, 60 films on the uprising, because that's a very, very important period. You can't say ek ban gayi to ab nahi banegi. it needs that's a very, very important period to me that shapes minds. If you take that period off from history, then you find a lot of other problems coming up. You find communalism, you find casteism, you find all kinds of other things. And there was a very, very definite design of the colonialists, how they wanted to make us think. I'm sure everybody has read or knows what Macaulay said in 1835 in the Parliament. Have you heard or read what Macaulay said? I'll just read it out. It's a very interesting. He said, I've traveled across the length and breadth of India. I mean, he takes a big sweep. He positions himself in a situation. And I have not seen one person who's a beggar, who's a thief. Such wealth I have seen in this country, such high moral values, such people of such high caliber, that I do not think we could ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this nation, which is her spiritual and cultural heritage. And therefore I propose that we replace her old and ancient education system, her culture, for if the Indian thinks that all that is foreign and English is good and greater than their own, they will lose their self-esteem, their native self-culture, and they will become what we want them, a truly dominated nation. So they worked with you have to do management by objectives. They had an objective and they managed you, and we still are not any wiser, you know what I mean? So we must have an objective. And in that objective, a lot of things can come to play. I mean, cinema, I think, is one of the most powerful mediums. Like Griffith said in 1924, that 100 years from now, the language of moving images will create the true brotherhood of man and end all armed conflicts from the face of this earth. I mean, he believed in it, and America believed in it. America has washed off all its sins through cinema. You know it. I mean, we are friends with them, but they've done a lot to justify what they've done, you know. I mean, even how the West was won. I mean, they made a whole this thing of the cowboy becomes a very romantic character, you know what I mean? So, and we become cowboys ourselves, you know. So what is happening is that we need to position ourselves, take a stand. And for me, the most important thing that drives me to a subject or to a film is human helplessness. And that comes from, again, as I said, rootedness. And fortunately, what happened was that after Lucknow, I went to Aligarh, and there I was sort of, though I studied science, I grew up with the poetry of revolution, poetry of fairs, poetry of majaz, poetry of a lot of people who thought who looked at where India was going. After 1947, I think this was in the 60s, there was a lot of concern about where we were going, and that was expressed through Urdu poetry. Unfortunately, we've lost Urdu also, which is a very major thinking language. It was a feeling language. It was not any community language. It was a language of the heart. ख्याल बज़्म में दोस्त ना किसी अजनबी का है ये बयां वो जहां न समझे मेरी ज़बां वही किस्मतों से मिला वतन. This is Raghupati Sahai Firaq saying about Urdu. So so what I'm saying is that it's a question of how you perceive things, how you perceive pain, how you perceive the problems in your society, and what kind of dreams you have to change it. Fortunately, I went into advertising, and advertising is a very, very interesting phenomenon where we feel everything is possible. You give me this flower, I'll sell it. If you give me a dead flower, I'll sell it. So that kind of confidence it gives us. And another interesting thing is that our chairman of that company where I was working was Mr. Satyajit Ray. So I worked very closely with him. And there on one hand, I got the confidence that we can sell anything. On the other hand, I got a feeling that, look at this man, he can look at his own culture and try to express himself through that idiom, through that grammar, through that pain, which I had not seen or experienced ever with that kind of proximity in Bollywood. You know, Bollywood was, I think, a little was one step far removed from being rootedness. I mean, there were a lot of people who came to Bollywood from Punjab. They had their own agony and their own pain, but at the same time, they came with their own sense of romance and dreams into this great world of Bollywood. But they were also very deeply inspired by poetry. So I think poetry was a very big saving grace for Bollywood to begin with. And there were very, very powerful poets who made the thinking of the director very, very, what shall I say, sound. People like Sahir, Kaifi Azmi, you name it. I mean, there were Majrooh Sultanpuri. I mean, these were poets who had but after that it was difficult for poets like Shahryar to go and make a place for himself. Rahi Sahab was there. Rahi Sahab was a great phenomena in his time. And in fact, my first film was about why people leave villages and come to big cities. And that was Gaman. And when Rahi Sahab, who's, I think, I consider one of the most important, evolved man of words and letters, and then later on screenplay and dialogue. And he saw this film, he said कि मुझे भी लगा कि मैं बम्बई में आके गुलाम हसन की तरह अपने कलम की टैक्सी चला रहा हूँ. So I think basically it all boils down to how you are positioning yourself, how you are looking at life, how you are trying to see the world change. All my films have been part of this journey, part of the pain of the soil of Awadh, about being dispossessed, or even Umrao Jaan was a different kind of a pain. It was a pain of a culture that was about to split, or that had split, and it was, you just see bring it to a point where the whole place, the whole culture is going to go asunder, and that you feel it almost from the point of view of that woman, the cultural disintegration that was going to follow that period, you know. And then there's so many other things that one has tried to grapple with and do, and how deeply connected they have been. Even when I was trying to make this film in Kashmir on Habba Khatun, I felt that was a film that could have, number one, created a very different understanding of what we feel of Kashmir. What do you think about Kashmir? It's not Kashmir ki Kali. It's not Gulmarg or Pahalgam or skiing or anything like that. There's a lot of ache there, you know, there's a lot of pain there. Kashmir has never been ruled by a Kashmiri since Habba Khatun. So there's a lot of alienation. People don't, and that is all pent up, you know. So I think people, I felt, needed that identity. They needed to be associated with that kind of a history where they could feel proud of, you know. Or even for both ways. I mean, even the rest of the country should know what Kashmir is all about, and even people from Kashmir would like to be known with that kind of an image. But I think there was an intention. I was trying to do something which I felt would make a difference, you know. So I think all the films that one would like to do, or what should happen in India, should take India to the next level. We are not being able to take India to the next level. People should come to India, and they should come with we should have a lot of passion to share things with the world. And people should come with a quest to India. So we are not being able to create that quest, and we don't have the passion to share. And that can only come with a lot of, I would say, honing in on literature, on culture, on understanding the pain, the areas of pain, and understanding the areas of imbalances that are there in society, in our culture. So these are the things I think are very important, and today we should position ourselves, our cinema, and work. We should just remove ourselves from Bollywood. There's no such thing as Bollywood. Start with a clean slate. Imagine nothing has happened. एक शेर है, हमसे कुछ आगे जमाने में हुआ क्या क्या कुछ, फिर भी हम गाफिलों ने आके किया क्या क्या कुछ. तो आप भूल जाइए क्या हुआ है, अब आप सोचिए आपको करना क्या है, आपके मसले क्या हैं. पहली चीज तो आपको ये देखना है कि आप किस नजर से चाहती हैं दुनिया आपको देखे. जिस दिन आप ये तय कर लें कि मुझे इस नज़र से दुनिया देखे, तो आपकी पूरी सोच में फर्क पड़ जाएगा। दूसरी चीज़ आपको ये तय करना है कि आपका जो कमज़ोर से कमज़ोर आदमी है, उसकी मानसिकता क्या होना चाहिए, उसके ख्वाब क्या होना चाहिए, उसकी ज़िंदगी में जो संतुलन है कैसे पैदा हो, द्वंद्व कैसे जाए। तो ये you have to get some certain things right. I mean, art for art's sake is one thing, but art for the sake of dreaming, art for the sake of changing, I think is a very, very important phenomena, which I think we have to resolve, and you have to come to some conclusions. There could be some kind of a fund. I think this fund of the films that is being made in Bollywood is all rubbish, you know. I mean, as Nandita said that she thought that when this little multiplexes are coming, it's a chance for her to go and show her films.
My dear.
Oh, us.
For us.
But I would say we should hit the big scene, big theatre. You know, we should hit the
We're
world.
waiting for you to make your
No,
name.
but we need, see, what is another thing that's happening, which is very, very ugly, is that if you have a woman, you can't sell a film.
Yeah.
You can't get money to make a film. And you just need a man to make a film.
अब तो हीरोइन से
हाँ, वो dirty picture जो थी, वो it was made at a very small budget.
It wasn't really sort of
Yeah, but I think if you want to take films with a mission, with an objective, I think you have to look at it very differently. So I think now we should open the house for questions. Thank you.